Hello, hello. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started today. Good afternoon or good morning, depending upon where you're located. We're so excited that you've joined us today to review 10 enrollment marketing projects that you can complete for $10,000 or less. We all know it's crunch time, and with just 12 days until May 1st decision day, you're without a doubt busy. So thank you so much for taking out time of your day to be with us. More than ever, colleges and universities are being forced to do more with less. You have to prove your return on your investment with tight budgets and stretch your dollars in a challenging marketplace. Big or small, public or private, sometimes a turnkey project or product is just what you need to turn around your plan and give you a boost in your enrollment efforts. And although the window for prospecting for fall 2019 has passed, and I'm sure many of you have already run your search campaigns for fall 2020, there's still an opportunity to impact yield and prevent summer melt. And of course, with the fiscal year approaching, it's time to draw up and finalize your plans for fall 2020 recruitment. So before we dive into the presentation, we'd like to just go ahead and introduce ourselves, and we're going to begin with my colleague, Jessica.
Hi, everyone. I am Jessica Sacheray, Director of Higher Education Marketing with MediaCross. As a team here, we're dedicated to finding solutions that fit our clients' needs, not only from a strategic standpoint, but from a resources perspective as well. Having sat on your side of the desk, I understand that you're only working with so much and your priorities are abundant. So as you near the end of this budget cycle and start a new one, we thought it would be a great idea to outline some projects that you might have been kind of backburnering, but maybe you don't have to, as we have been able to accomplish quite a bit with $10,000 or less.
Hi, my name is James Weinberg, and I'm going to be talking about some research components that can be added at various stages of the funnel, as well as applied to different audience groups to make sure that all of your creative and messaging are on point.
All right. Hi, hello. This speaking is Ashley Chartrand, lead strategist at MediaCross. Having been a part of the MediaCross team for over 8 years and completed work on dozens and dozens of higher ed specific projects since we began working with colleges and universities in 2015, I am so eager to share with you some of the most successful and inventive projects that I've been a part of or pitched during my tenure. So again, today we'll be discussing 10 enrollment marketing projects you can complete for $10,000 or less. We've organized these projects into 3 categories: yield, summer planning, and getting ready for 2020. We will begin by addressing yield and summer melt strategies, since there's still time to have an effect with those efforts. And then from there, we'll talk about planning strategies you can implement over the summer. And finally, projects that you may have on your radar or should consider adding to get ready for 2020. Before we really dive into the list of projects, I just want to emphasize that this is in no way an exhaustive list of what MediaCross can do. We're a full-service agency, and we pride ourselves on coming up with creative solutions no matter what challenge you face. If you have a specific challenge or particular solution that you're looking for that's not covered in this presentation, we encourage you to still reach out and start a discussion with us about how we can support your efforts, because whatever you're looking for, we can do that. So as we present the projects in this webinar, we'll share the project or tactic by describing what it is and the rationale behind the solution. And then from there, we'll provide samples and a general scope of what can be completed for 10K or less. Again, there's an infinite number of solutions and projects that can be completed within a budget of $10,000, but these are just a handful of some of our favorite go-tos with a limited budget.
All right, so we're going to start with yield. No surprise or strange, piece of information that most students are not only applying to more colleges than ever before, but also making that commitment step, whether that's registering for classes or depositing to more colleges than ever before as well. And with the change in the financial aid cycle pushing back recently to the fall before enrollment, the yield cycle became so much longer. It's not really just summer melt anymore, is it? We've seen some great results with a few projects that help our partners bring a higher level of personalization and really just some pizzazz to the yield cycle.
Okay. So like you'll see with many of the projects we'll be recommending, the strategy can be adapted to fit into any place within the funnel. For example, parent communication flows can work at the top or the bottom of the funnel, but implementing one now to prevent summer melt can support your efforts to meet yield goals. So parents are big influencers for Generation Z. In fact, 88% of students reported being extremely close to their parents, according to a study completed from the book Generation Z Goes to College. So communicating with this high-stakes group during the summer is an important strategy to staying engaged. By developing a summer melt-specific parent communication flow, you can help prevent admitted students from melting away. Messaging can vary from process-focused emails like housing deposits are still due to product-focused like our college is the best choice because fill in the blank here. But the key is to stay in touch. You've worked hard all year to court prospective students and their parents, building a strong relationship with students who have been admitted. So why wouldn't you keep the momentum rolling into the summer to prevent a dip in numbers come drop dates this fall? So we've got a couple of samples here that Jessica's going to talk a little bit more about.
Sure, yeah. This work with Northern Kentucky University included several pieces, really, but a nice bifold self-mailer with general information from a parent, written specifically for the parent audience, with a glue-dotted magnet that attached to the outer panel, kind of like the mailing panel that was easily, seen in the mail. With important dates and deadlines. So for yield, this could feature, first year dates that already bring parents into the fold, dates like family weekend, homecoming, next year's FAFSA filing date, things like that they're going to need to know for the following year that really, makes them feel like a current parent already over the summer. We also created a specific email communication flow that spoke to parents' most top of mind concerns, right? So say campus safety, to return on investment and outcomes. It also did include a series of a few more postcards that really supported the key topics of the email campaign.
So for example, we could write 10 emails, design 2 email templates, and 2 postcard design templates for $10,000 or less. Being accepted into college is a huge milestone in a person's life, and in many ways, it's a reflection of a person's hard work from grade school through high school. And it's very often seen as a determinant in the pathway to a person's future. In life, we celebrate our achievements with milestones and mementos, and getting admitted into college should be no different. As the entity that's providing this much-deserved excitement, you should seize the moment and help strengthen your affinity with admitted students. So enter the Admitted Student Poster Project. To help prevent summer melt, why not implement a series of personalized modern posters in order to stay connected to students? So here's how the summer melt version of this project works, because like we talked about earlier, it can be adapted in a number of ways. We start the project by developing a BuzzFeed style type of quiz, asking students lighthearted questions, such as, what is your spirit animal and what kind of cereal would you be? Using responses, we then match them up to a poster sign which embodies your university's values. The posters are then printed using variable printing with an emotional call to action like, Jessica, what will you be? To make them even more personalized beyond the fact that the design they receive is aligned to the way they answered the questionnaire. The posters are then mailed to all admitted students or select students, depending upon what your printing and production budget may be, encouraging them to hang the poster on their dorm room wall in the fall and inviting them to sign up for orientation. So the key to making the posters an authentic memento is to avoid overtly branding the piece. And so while they can include your college or university logo and some branding if necessary, we really recommend that they have a unique design and be very artistic in nature. In the past, posters have been built around university's values, but we're really open to any direction. So maybe it's we want to come up with different categories like groupings of programs or outcomes.
And also, just as an aside as well, what you see here on your screen are an example of Spelman College's, or a few of Spelman College's yield poster project. But also, in addition to them receiving the poster in the mail, there was also a letter that encouraged them to share their poster because it is connected to kind of their preferences and personality and interests on social media. So with an admitted student hashtag, which also allows students to sort of connect with each other over the summer, like, oh, if they have the same, image as I do or the same poster as I do, maybe, we would get along or, have some similar interests. So kind of helps them to start to connect. Again, as Ashley said, this has largely been used as a summer yield package to drop in the late spring or early summer to all admitted students. There's also no reason that this couldn't be started now to be ready to drop on an on-demand basis once you begin to admit students for 2020 this fall. The emailed survey could be a follow-up to an application submitted and be dropped throughout the year as, that applicant or admitted student fulfillment piece.
Okay, so for example, we could provide 3 poster designs, the survey, development, and deployment. This is for $10K or less, and these the creative costs such as copywriting and design are included, whereas production and fulfillment would need to be an additional cost. Typically, we've found that partners can find that from a different budget. So just a little tip there we've used before with other partners. So sure, lots of graduation parties happen in May, but celebrations still continue into the early summer months, and the pride of graduating from high school extends all summer long. With a graduation party box like the admit posters, you can build on this excitement and help your admitted students and families celebrate their achievements. This package could include a variety of items, but for our purposes today, we're presenting it to include a variable printed 10 by 10 box, which is like a pizza box, a personalized note card congratulating the prospective admitted student, static university branded Mylar balloon, keychain, and tassel topper. So really, again, it could be a variety of options. And so no matter the combination of what's included, students would be equipped to celebrate their graduation and decision to attend your university or college, and will have premium items to continue to show their pride after their party. So, MediaCross provides customizable products and services. So this could be altered to become dorm room decor essentials box or a college survival kit. And of course, pricing would vary based upon what deliverables are included. So for a quantity of around 300, we could produce the design of the box and the note card and balloon, where to include production, whereas fulfillment and shipping would not be included for $10,000 or less. So, maybe you've exhausted your budget this year and you want to implement a yield strategy or summer melt campaign. There are some things you can do yourself, of course. You could upload an admitted student list and parent names to Facebook to target your incoming class with messages about how you can prepare for the upcoming school year. You could double up your efforts and send out a 3-postcard series to coincide with your Facebook or Instagram campaign to reinforce those messages. Or you can use student workers over the summer to call high priority admitted students. All right, so moving on to summer planning. By the end of May, early June, most colleges and universities are in the process of developing and or refreshing their enrollment and marketing plans and strategies. And of course, the types of projects and plans that can come out of this work can be quite costly. They don't always have to be. So maybe you have a solid communication plan, but you haven't conducted research in a while, or perhaps you'd like a strategic partner to weigh in on a secondary audience communication flow. Whatever your needs are, MediaCross can snap into what you're already doing and partner up with you or other vendors if need be to help you round out your strategies with some of these low-cost tactics. So higher education's value research, and that is music to a marketer's ears. Sure, sexy campaigns with poppy graphics and clever language are appealing, and they're even efficient for the right audience, but smart marketing grounded in research is the key to success. So in partnership with Dr. James Weinberg, Media Cross can launch a number of surveys for $10,000 or less. And he's joined us today to talk about a few of those options.
Yeah, so what you're seeing on the screen there are examples of a proprietary survey software that we use that, as you can see, makes the conversations a little bit more aligned with the communication channel preferences of today's prospective students. So, for example, those communications that you're seeing on the mobile device and on the desktop computer, they really look more like text messages or kind of live chats. And so we're seeing much higher response rates to these surveys than what institutions have been used to seeing using other forms of surveys, like, your kind of Survey Monkeys and those types of tools. So not only that, but we have been infusing research into various phases of the funnel and with different key audience members and influencers. So again, on the screen, you're seeing surveys that are actually geared towards parents, surveys that are geared towards legacies, brothers, sisters, parents of prospective students, as well as your kind of typical brand awareness survey more at the top of the funnel with inquiries. So with our solution, again, for a price that is much lower than what you're used to seeing, we will help you customize various survey instruments targeted to different groups at first, but then you also gain access to a subscription-based software platform where you can conduct research as often as you'd like, and again, much more efficiently and cost-effectively, where you would have access to real-time, visualizations and analytics of your data, so you're not really beholden to a vendor to kind of schedule sporadic presentations and conduct research, less frequently than you need.
All right, so the next is communication audit, and that may or may not be because it's one of my favorite things to do. So during the summer, auditing your communications is a great exercise to ensure your communication plan is as effective as it can be for this next recruitment cycle. The ease of sort of set it and forget it CRM-enabled drip campaigns is awesome for higher ed and the recruitment cycle, but it also sometimes results in organizations not returning to their communication plan to ensure that that plan is informative, engaging, and most importantly, consistent. Sometimes the objective eye of a partner like MediaCross not only allows us to see holes and inconsistencies in the flow a little bit easier, but we also have this wide breadth of experience working with many communication plans for clients that are in and outside of higher education, which can be, bring some value to your organization as well. Our communication audit does include time on campus to review your communication plan with your team, a thorough audit exercise that our team performs for you, and a report of findings, recommendations, and opportunities for significantly less than $10,000. Communication audits, though, can also be done in-house in the summer. This is a great project if you have a student ambassador team or interns in your admission office to organize your communications by student type and the triggering that you have set up. I like to use a big wall in our office and use Post-it notes of different colors for different student types and types of communication, whether it's email, letters, etc. But then maybe you can also bring in another department like Student Affairs to take a look at that, flow objectively and, help you to identify those things. Sometimes when we're too close to the communication plan, we don't see things as easy as another eye would.
All right, so this is what it's all about, right? Getting ready for 2020. The recruitment season officially kicks off in August. So what do you need to do to get ready for recruiting a solid class for fall 2020? Let's talk about some strategies to consider. So first impressions absolutely matter. And for some prospective students and parents, the first time they encounter your brand can be at a college fair. In fact, in a recent prospective student study with a partner, we uncovered that after emails, the university's website, and friends, college fairs and information meetings were the top way in which students learned about that university. So if your booth is using imagery of students from the 90s or even early 2000s, has worn down materials and or lackluster messaging, you're going to get lost in the crowd, or even worse, be seen as undesirable. Don't neglect your college booth any longer. You're investing way too much by sending admissions counselors on the road to let your image be jeopardized by a stale booth. So we've got some samples on the screen here, which are just some 11 by 17 pop-up vinyl tabletop banners that address the questions you most often hear from students at college fairs, such as, do you have my major? What is the city like there? And how do you rank? So we can help with the development of a new booth space, from planning the space to include design and copywriting, to even possibly production, depending upon the package of deliverables for $10,000 or less. Okay, so branded collateral templates. Not only is a well thought out university branded collateral important for your image, it's important for building brand recognition and creating a seamless experience. So maybe you have a copywriter and designers on staff and plenty of imagery, but you need not a lot of resources at hand to get projects moving. So perhaps what you need is a boost to start these projects with templated materials. And that is just what we did for Texas A&M Central Texas. We used their established concept and their university branding to help them create a library of templates to fast track their materials creation.
Yeah, and what it also, they had kind of identified that they had a team on their marketing team, or a small team, I would say, within marketing, but they also, because they didn't sort of have these easy to use templates, that their brand was sort of getting a little bit watered down by other departments, sort of kind of taking their own, initiative to create other materials. So they really needed, kind of this set package of things, and what you see here on the screen, is a brochure template, an event flyer, some digital ads. You can see that they were provided to the client with Greek text because they knew that they could, provide the copywriting. They just needed something that they could work with and also, pass out to other departments across campus that would, hopefully bring some consistency to their materials, no matter, which department was putting it out.
All right, so again, the deliverables can be specific to whatever your needs may be, but we can create a package of templates, including copywriting and design, with delivery of final design files for $10K or less.
All right, so after you've done that communication audit this summer, maybe it's time to refresh those email communication flows. MediaCross helps a variety of colleges and universities craft effective email communications for all types of audiences, inclusive of HTML templates that are responsive and load right into your CRM. Ash can tell you a little bit more about the work you see here for the Evergreen State College.
Yeah, so for the Evergreen State College, we provided email communication flow support by writing over 25 emails across a variety of campaigns, from search to yield, that included variable copy by area of interest and financial aid opportunities by location. So we can do as little as reviewing the copy for tone and strategy to as much as a complete communication flow overhaul for all of your audiences for 10K or less.
For traditional undergrad audiences, video is king. 1/3 of Generation Z watches video online at least 1 hour per day, and YouTube is considered the top destination by 80%. If you're not creating content in the format most consumed by your audiences, you're just not reaching them. Explainer videos can be executed for a reasonable cost, and you can include a combination of both live action footage and motion graphics to help tell your story from an overall brand perspective, to explain a particular pipeline program's features, or to create interest and engagement with a visit program. The great thing is, this audience does not necessarily need all of your video to be, content to be highly produced. MediaCross can work with in-house or professionally shot video footage, craft a storyboard for maybe, let's say, a 3-minute video, as well as cuts at 15 or 30 seconds for use in social campaigns, YouTube ads, and more for less than $10,000. All right, and then summer social and digital campaigns. So can you really dig into digital marketing for under $10,000? Yes. Is digital marketing spend scalable, and is budget related to the results? Yes, maybe, but we can move the needle in surprising ways with a more modest budget too. Media Cross supports clients in digital campaigns of all sizes, and we pride ourselves in being able to work within a budget to drive measurable results through crafting niche campaigns that can make the most out of your investment. Over the summer, you've got two main tasks: to continue engagement with admitted and enrolled students, and to start building brand awareness with your 2020 prospective students. Have you got a series of admitted student events like registration and orientation days? These list-based social campaigns, you can see some examples here of a carousel ad used to engage with admitted students to attend a registration event. Or you can also add parents into these types of social campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. These can supplement your other communication efforts and ensure a solid turnout at those really important summer admitted student programs. You can also serve more brand affinity messages to this same admitted student list, right? Over the summer, reminding them of the reasons why they've chosen your institution, not just process, but product, with reinforcements on quality, experience, and even school spirit. Broad stroke brand awareness campaigns do typically require a larger investment. But if you've not already started using retargeting off of your .edu site, this is how you spend $10,000 in a budget this summer. It is the largest driver of conversions for all of our clients across the board that use digital marketing, and helps you stay in front of those who have already shown an interest in your brand, and can also provide a basis for other audiences as you launch fall campaigns to start the process of gathering an audience on your site for retargeting pushes. You can also get a jump start on letting your rising seniors know that your application is now open with a burst of IP targeting or email targeting to your inquiry list to drive early applications. These campaigns typically fit into a $10,000 budget when our partners provide their own ad creative, which allows us to focus that budget on strategy, execution, optimization, and reporting results.
All right, well, that concludes our webinar today. Again, I just really want to re-emphasize that these are just some sample projects, and we would love to start conversations with you. So Jessica's email is included on the last slide here for you to go ahead and reach out to begin conversations.
Yeah, and we will also be sending a link to the recorded version of this webinar, so you can certainly pass it around if you want, and we can also share more exact pricing as well if you're interested for any of the tactics that we covered today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.